Hello, Caleb. This is our Monday stat class, and we went back to the first chapter 11 handout, the one where we were working on the M&Ms and days of our birth. So at this one, we decided to try to put it in the calculator, and it turns out that when we did it in class, we got a chi-square 7.6 from the C chart, a p-value of 0.25. So we wanted to get our calculator to do that for us. And we had to go to stat edit and put in L1 the observed values and stat edit L2 the expected values. For that problem, these are those numbers. Then we went to stat test chi-squared goodness of fit. In fact, everyone, would you now go to the front of this handout, and at the top where it says chapter 11 inference from categorical data, this is the old paper, you have it, Caleb, put up there in the top goodness of fit test. This is a you can put chi-squared with it, chi-squared goodness of fit. How good is the fit? Goodness of fit test is what we were doing with our M&Ms.
It says it on there.
Pardon?
It says it on there.
Okay, I know. It wasn't very emphasized. Yeah, you can circle where it says goodness of fit under day 2. So just so you know, I don't think I ever brought that to your attention. So, Caleb, bad news, very bad. On your calculator, when you go put in L1, L2, go to stat test, you go to chi-squared GOF, goodness of fit, and you don't have it. 2 of us have it, 3 of us do not. So we challenge you to help us, because the book says if you don't have it, you can update your calculator and it will be in there. So if you could figure out how to do that, you would serve us. So updates, we're supposed to update your calculator regularly. So I'm not sure how that works. If you could figure it out, we would appreciate it. All right. For those of us who were able to put it in, we got the same and the same. So, all right. I just wanted to pull up that loose end before we did other stuff. Today we'll finish up what we started on Friday, and then we have just practice problems to do from chapter 10 actually. So we're kind of pulling it all together to get through the book. So, all right, so let me erase this and put up this chart. So we're back to buying wines again. Can you find that?
Did we get another paper?
Oh, yes. Did you watch that one?
No.
Oh. Alright, here you go. This is the chart I'm putting up here about the wines. Okay, Elena, can you explain to her about the wines, what we were doing there while I put it up?
Oh, with the music. So, we were testing what kinds of wine people buy when different types of music are being played.
You gotta admit, a statistical fair would be kind of interesting. Look at all the ideas we had from all our problems. So when you walk in the wine store and French music is playing, are you more likely to buy a certain wine? That's what they're interesting. Or Italian or no music. So, alright, so we have French, Italian. So, Allie, you get the gist of this chart? All right, well tell me, today, how many bottles of Italian wine did I sell when Italian music was playing?
19.
All right, you get the gist of it. All right, almost with you. All right. Alright, the thing we have to explain to you, Allie, and this is the only thing we did with this on Friday, was how to get the expected values. We have now, have you noticed, we're in a two-way chart, so we're comparing characteristics from 2 ideas, wine and music. I had them guess what this chart was before I told them. Nobody could get it. I think Julia finally did, but after about 5 guesses, remember? We were trying to figure out what that chart was about before I explained it.
I think I got it on like the third.
Yeah, okay, 3rd guess, not
Or
5th.
maybe the second.
Yeah, she did good, but we had all kinds of ideas. All right, so we're still going to do chi-squared statistic with, we're going to take observed. These are all the observed. I'll get rid of the totals so they're separate. Observed minus expected quantity squared divided by expected. So even though we're doing a two-way chart, we're still going to have this value calculated for all of those and added up. So there'll be 9 of them. So the thing is, how do we get expected? So we made a chart again over here, and we put 9 spots for the 9 expected values. And we have wines, French, Italians, and others, and music, none, French, and Italian. So, anyone kind of remind us? Do you recall, Bailey? Like if we were trying to get the expected value here, what numbers did we grab? How did it work?
99 divided by 243 times 84.
Okay. And the reason why that is if music has no influence at all, and there are 30, but altogether that day I sold 99 French bottles of wine and 243 total. So we suspect if music had nothing to do with it, then this proportion should apply to when there's no music. So we said 99 over 243 times 84 will give us the expected value here. And it always works that way. You'll always use this total, and this total, no matter where you are on the chart. So we did 99 over 243 times 84. And I said, if you didn't quite understand why it was mathematically, at least understand what numbers to grab. And so when you do that, it came out to be, what was that expected value? 46.08. So Allie, guess what we would do to get, say, this one?
I got 34.22 for that.
Oh, you didn't get that?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Okay, sorry, 34.22, you're right. I'm looking at the next example. Nobody remember that number. All right, Allie, say you were trying to do, and I don't have enough bubbles either. Bubble, bubble, bubble. All right, what happens here? Like, how would I get that expected value?
You would do whatever.
Yeah, this number doesn't come out to
Yeah.
play at all.
So it would
It's-
just be 31 over 243
times
75.
Right, exactly. And when we did that one, did you get 9.57? All right, Elena, see, remind me, tell me how we would get this one.
So we have to have the total on that side. It's 99 divided by 243
Times,
times 84.
all right, so you got that? Julia, can you give me, say, this one?
70, no. Oh.
It's always the totals here. We're gonna use these two.
And
Times
then
that.
multiplied by the 75. Okay.
All right, so when we did that, check my results. Do you have them all? I know it was toward the end of class. Did you get all the expected values?
Yeah.
What's this one? 10.72. Both of them were 10.72?
Yeah, the left and the right are the same.
All right.
Just
Look at
'cause.
that.
Yeah.
That's right, because these numbers are the same.
Yeah.
All right, makes sense. All right, so that's where we were at the end of class. So we're going to complete our test now. So test of what? What are we testing? Did we even write down a hypothesis? We might have. Julia, did we write down a hypothesis?
I don't think so. I don't have it right.
Did we?
I think
Elena?
we were just calculating those
All
things
right,
and then we
I don't think, okay. So to have a test, we need some hypotheses. So let's begin with our hypotheses. What is our hypotheses? Of course, no difference exists between the distribution of wine types sold and music played. No difference exists between, this is one difference between stat and any other math. There's a lot of verbiage. No difference exists between the distribution of wine types sold and music played. You see, because we have so many numbers in a two-way chart, we can't say this number has to equal this. It's unlike what we saw with the peanut M&Ms. So we have to write it out. There's no other choices. So guess what our alternative will be? Well, the null says there is no difference, so we're just going to say there is a difference. So did music really affect the sale of the wine types? Now, I'm not going to write, I should, in an AP situation, you should write out the whole thing, but I'm just saying there is a difference. All right. All right, so let's conduct the test. We learned also, were you here when we did RIL? Have you heard of RIL?
No.
All right. There used to be a RIN test, and now there's a RIL test. Can anyone remember what a RIL was? Bailey, what's a RIL? Not what it stands for, but what it is in real life.
Oh,
What's the word RIL mean?
It's a small stream.
A small stream is a RIL. Did you know that? I did not know it either.
Something on the moon.
Yeah, a small valley on the moon is a RIL. And there's some acronyms. Some people said rest in love instead of rest in peace, and read it later. So one of those four will help you remember that we don't do a RIN test, we do a RIL test. So random, was this a random situation? I didn't give you the write-up, but it was. So random works. Independent. So for independence, we look at whether the amount of wines in a store would be greater than, and actually, this isn't a sample. This is an observational experiment, so we really can't do the n, big N is bigger than little n times 10. But does it make sense to you that when these people went into the store, that say the French music was playing, and is there an independence on what they were buying compared to if there was no music playing?
Time.
So, yeah, the time. All right, shut it down.